What if I told you that you can create a successful video production business with just the equipment that you have right now? That's right, you don't have to go out and buy the most expensive, top-notch professional camera, the top lighting and audio gear to make a good, successful video to get clients. You can use everything that you own right now and just make a perfect video that can set you up for success while you create your video production business. And here's how we're gonna do it. Hey guys, my name is Savannah Jones. I am the Director of Photography here at Little Lighthouse Productions and also Film Girl South. So a little background about me. I am a graduate from the University of Southern Mississippi with a film minor and an English major, actually. Over the course of my college career, I was doing weddings, I was taking photos of families, portrait photography, and then slowly evolved into creating my own video production company on the side, while also freelancing and starting out as a production assistant on reality TV, working my way up to assistant camera and now to camera operator over the course of about 4 years. So throughout my time working my way up and upgrading my equipment, I've learned so much about how to scale our business properly, and I can teach you how to do that too without breaking the bank. The first step to really creating your own business is finding your brand. At the beginning, you may not know exactly what route you want to go down. You may not know what style of videos you want to shoot, right? You may want to do a little bit of documentary, a little bit of commercial, and then you may want to do photos and weddings because that's something you enjoy. So at the beginning, I don't really say that you need to niche down per se, but you need to find your style and who you are through your video production. Whether you like editing more dark and moody, light and airy, maybe you like more docu style, like in the moment, realistic editing. Maybe you like really colorful editing. All of these things are part of who you are, your identity, and your brand. Another thing that goes with building your identity through your style of editing and shooting would be who you are as a person. What stories do you want to tell people? Are your videos going to be really fun and engaging? Are they going to be more straight to the point? Maybe the commercials you shoot are really goofy and that's just your style. So when picking out your brand identity, one of the things you should do is select a couple of colors and a couple of fonts that really meet the style you're going for. Here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, Little Lighthouse kind of represents shining a light on the community. So we have 3 brand colors, which are black, white, and gold, which also go with some of the city colors that we have here in the Biloxi and D'Iberville area. And we also have 3 to 5 fonts that we really like to use all the time. One of those being Tiller font, and we use that quite a bit when we're advertising to keep our brand very consistent. One of the things you don't want to do at the beginning when creating your brand is confuse people on what you're trying to do. So if you would do a rebrand every couple of weeks or change your logo all the time, or maybe use this font and then use another font a couple days later, when people are scrolling through your content, they won't recognize your brand. And one of the big things you think about when you think about huge commercial brands like Netflix or Disney, what colors do you think of? What fonts do you think of? And what do you think of when you think of Disney, right? Happy, bubbly, magical-like, right? And then Netflix is just an encompassing category, a library of all these cinematic films. And think about the way that those logos and those brands make you feel. And that's what you want to represent in your own brand. When you're telling people, when people are scrolling, when they see your commercials, they want to know immediately, that's Film Girl South. I saw her stuff before, or that's LLP because I saw their logo or those colors reminded me of them. So be really consistent when talking about your brand in this way. The second thing I would do is form a business. I've seen a ton of commercials on Instagram or on Facebook about how much you have to pay someone to help you create your LLC online. Okay, well, you don't have to pay $200 to someone else to create your LLC. Me, as an 18, 19-year-old in community college, I went online to the Mississippi Secretary of State website and I applied, paid my $50, and created my own LLC for my first business, Savvy Snapshots Photography. A couple years later, I created a second LLC for Little Lighthouse Productions. And what that does is gives you a state ID, and it does allow you to do taxes through your LLC as well. But if you're an independent LLC, you can do it as a sole proprietorship, so that way I can pay taxes through myself, which is still my LLC. That's a whole separate video, but basically paying the $50, registering online, and creating that LLC really makes you stand out from other people that are freelancers, and it makes you really professional and official. So I recommend going onto your state website and finding out how to apply for that LLC today. It's a really short process. You create your name, tell people what categories you're in as far as video production services, photography services, etc., and then apply for that and get your certification. Immediately after creating the LLC, I would go onto Google and create yourself a Google business page. Why would you do this? From my experience, we have so many people just find us on Google typing in Biloxi video services, video production near me. And a lot of our clients come to us from finding our business page, reading our reviews, and then hiring us just like that. As opposed to me having friends that are freelancers that will occasionally get referrals and phone calls from me or from other clients. However, if they don't have a Google page, how are people finding them? If they don't have a social media, if they don't have any type of Instagram presence, anything like that, all they're relying on is referrals. So immediately, if you've got a business, get yourself a Google page. Just put a couple photos on there, put your name and all of your info, the areas you service within your community. Some hours, we set it to 24 hours a day just so that we can get more clients, because people could call me at 9 p.m. on a Friday and I might get a job for the next week. So really depends on your area and what you want to do, but I would create that business page immediately. So now that you've created a brand identity for your business, an LLC, and a Google business page, it's time to officially create content. Now, maybe you've been doing this the entire time on the back end, but I want you to really hone into what your brand identity is. What's your logo? What's your log line? What do you live by, right? Here at Little Lighthouse, our logo or our slogan is "Where ideas shine bright." We're trying to create these ideas and shed a light on the community and spread that message into the community. So in a lot of ways, that makes me think positively about what we're doing, right? We're trying to create an environment here where we promote the community, but also with Visit Mississippi and doing a tourism video for them. We were shining a light on these stories, right? I had to travel to North Mississippi to shoot for a blues video, for a soul food video. And a lot of people don't know about these stories that we have here in Mississippi. So we're taking that and we're shining a light on it. So really think about what your message is through your videos. And then I would start creating some sample videos of some content. For example, maybe you would want to create a story on something that's happening in your community. I know a lot of people suggest go do free, like 3 or 4 free videos for businesses in your community. And that's also a great idea. But another way to think of it is giving back, right? So having that artist give their time to you, creating this interview video, but also giving back to them, because maybe they've never had their work covered before. People don't know there's a muralist in your community. And that's pretty amazing, right? Artists supporting other artists. So another example would be maybe going to a mom and pop store that doesn't really have a strong social media presence and giving something like that to them. Maybe it's a local paint and body shop that does auto repair. Maybe it's a local convenience store that has just been passed through generations. And not only finding something to just make a commercial of, right? Because that's what anybody can do, even with their cell phone. But what I'm suggesting you do to create and move people to work with you in the future is to create meaningful commercials, right? What's the story of that mom and pop shop? maybe creating a brand video for them, brand commercial, right? So have the owner sit down or stand in front of you and say, hey, we've been here for 45 years. It's passed through generations of people, generations of family that have worked in the store, have put in their time and their effort to create this environment here. And then follow them around for a little bit and get that B-roll and put it all together into a meaningful video. So then when you put that out there, people are like, first of all, I didn't know that place existed, or hey, I know that business. We've been there several times. They're so great. They're great people. It's a great environment. And then that creates engagement. And then I would take all of that content that you've made and I would make it into smaller content, right? Create your social media presence. So create yourself a website, YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever you feel comfortable with, but I would try to do at least the 3 main ones like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, or maybe YouTube if you interchange those. And then I would take that video that you just shot, right, the interview video, maybe that's a 3-minute video, and then I would cut it into reels, and I would make that 30-second snippets to show people and get them eager to see more. Oh, hey, that seems like a really cool story. What's the rest of that? And then kind of create a content calendar to release your content so people are constantly seeing stuff. You may not be busy every day, but at least you got stuff posting. So people are like, hey, what are they working on? I've seen this video, like, where's the full thing? Where's the full thing? And then finally release that so that they can see your work. So once you've got all of your 3 to 5 videos, I would create a website, which would include, a home page with everything that you've done, maybe your portfolio, maybe even if you've done some photos, not just video, right? I would include a bio page about you, contact page, and then maybe a couple other pages about things that you've done in the past, maybe projects you've done in school, if you've been doing student films for a while, etc. But creating a website is also coinciding with that Google page too, because if people click on the Google page and they want to verify and see how legitimate you are, and they don't see a website there and just maybe a phone number, hardly any photos, they've got nothing to really compare that to. So if you have a backlink to that website, they're like, oh, they're legit, we want to work with them. So now that you've created all of these things, right? Brand, portfolio, Google page, website, content, I would start networking immediately. If you haven't already started networking throughout this entire process, right? I would encourage you to join your local organizations, such as your Chamber of Commerce. Maybe they have a young professionals group, which is something we have here on the coast. And I would join those and start going to those events as much as possible. Just get your name out there. Now that you've got that strong portfolio, people can actually see your work and you can talk to them about the process of making those videos, working with that entrepreneur, that artist, or that small business. And that also connects you to other people in the community, right? Say I'm meeting someone at the networking event. Oh, I saw your portfolio and you worked with this mom and pop shop that my friend's cousin is with, or friends with, or whatever. Because it really is a small community, and you can say, oh yeah, that mom and pop shop was great. We did this and had so much fun creating their video. And that just gives you more leg to stand on when you're talking to these people, makes you more professional, and people in your community, makes you more trustworthy. And then that person you're talking to is probably gonna work with you too, just because you have other connections in the community. So that's what I would do. Definitely go network with as many people as you can to create your business. And eventually, you'll have to hire on more people to the point where you'll get so busy trying to do these projects yourself that you'll have to hire on your own freelancers through your LLC. But a lot of that does come with time too. It took us a while to scale up, and now we are having to outsource our work, as finding an editor or finding a second shooter, or even finding someone to help create behind the scenes content when we're on shoots. So all of that will come with time, but having these basics here is crucial to having your own business. And I cannot tell you how many times I've had people ask, Savannah, why are you so busy? Why are you guys so busy? You know, there was the film strike a little while back, the writer's strike and everything too. We're still working, right? Even though I'm a freelancer in film and TV, I still had our LLC, our business, Little Lighthouse. So even while everyone else had to go get different jobs, having my own business, my own Google page where people could search us up, that was life-changing to me and to my career in film. It has also allowed me to buy and rent and utilize equipment that I may have not had the opportunity to do on set when I was a production assistant, right? So back then they wouldn't really let me work with the cameras as a PA. But here, having my own business, I'd already bought the A7, the FX30, the Ronins, right? I already knew about anamorphic lenses because I was doing it here myself. So then when I got to that AC position on set, I already knew how to swap the lenses, change the batteries, time code, set the reels every day, you know what I mean? So doing things like that on your own and also wanting to work in the film industry, that really coincides with each other because it helps one thing and the other. And now that I'm operating cameras, I've already worked with all the Sony line, right? So the FX9, the FS7, and I've got the FX30 that I'm using right here. So having that equipment or even using productions that you work on to utilize and rent equipment that you might not have otherwise beforehand is really important too. But after all of this is said and done, if you can go through these steps, whether you have an iPhone or a DSLR camera or whatever you have, you will create your own shot list, create your own brand, and just make videos that people can connect with. I promise you that if you can do all of this and really network with people in your community and show them that you know what you're doing and have a passion for it, they will call you and they will allow you to have these opportunities you never thought you could do. So I think this is so important to building a brand. So thanks so much for watching today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And if you have any questions or comments for new videos or any comments about this video, let me know down in the comments below. But thanks again for watching today. I'm Savannah with Little Lighthouse Productions, also known as Film Girl South. Thanks so much for watching and stay real.